My name is Evelyn, and the moment I realized someone wanted me gone, it was not because of a threat or an argument. It was because of a tiny white ceramic cup sitting on my kitchen counter that did not belong in my home. Inside was a sweet amber liquid with a strange chemical smell. Something deep inside me whispered that something was terribly wrong, and for the first time in my life, I listened instead of ignoring my instincts. I was 68 years old, a retired English teacher, and a widow who had spent decades building a peaceful life. After my husband passed away, I inherited our family farm, our home, and enough savings to live comfortably. I never thought about money, but apparently other people did. My only son, Daniel, had once been loving and devoted, visiting often and helping me through my grief. Everything changed after his wife, Vanessa, slowly convinced him that I had too much for one person. She constantly suggested selling my farm, moving into a retirement community, and turning my assets into cash. Every polite refusal created more distance between us until I barely recognized my own son. One October evening, Vanessa insisted on hosting a family dinner at my house. While preparing dessert, I noticed that mysterious cup on my counter. The smell immediately reminded me of medicine rather than coffee or tea. Instead of confronting anyone, I quietly carried the cup to the bathroom, poured a small sample into a travel container, hid it safely, and replaced the contents with watered-down coffee mixed with honey so it looked untouched. Then I called my late husband's lifelong friend, Victor, who immediately told me to document everything, secure the sample, and act completely normal. At dinner, another detail caught my attention. Every glass on the table looked identical except mine. It was slightly different, just enough for someone paying attention to recognize it. My heart raced, but I stayed calm. Before anyone started eating, I suggested saying grace, something our family had not done in years. As everyone lowered their heads, I quietly switched my glass with Vanessa's in one smooth movement. Nobody noticed except her. The fear in her eyes told me everything I needed to know. Dinner continued as though nothing had happened. I pretended to sip from the glass while Vanessa unknowingly drank from the one meant for me. Minutes later, she became pale, struggled to stand, and collapsed. My son immediately asked what she had consumed. When she answered that she had only drunk the cider, he accidentally revealed the truth by saying he had never brought any cider. In that instant, I saw guilt spread across his face. It was no longer just suspicion. I knew he had been aware of the plan. An ambulance rushed Vanessa to the hospital, where doctors saved her life. That same night, Victor arranged for a private laboratory to test the liquid I had secretly collected. The results confirmed my worst fears. Both the drink in the cup and the cider had been drugged with a dangerous sleeping medication. The amount in the cup was strong enough that, combined with my heart condition, my death could easily have appeared natural. The cider was simply a backup plan in case I refused the first drink. The next morning, Daniel came to my house with tears in his eyes, claiming everything had been a terrible misunderstanding. He insisted Vanessa had mixed up her medication by accident and begged me to believe him. I let him finish every excuse before placing the sealed evidence and the laboratory report on the coffee table between us. Then I calmly told him that every piece of my property had already been transferred into an irrevocable trust. My granddaughter Claire would inherit everything when she became an adult. Daniel would receive absolutely nothing. I also made one final promise. If he ever challenged my decision or attempted to fight the trust, every piece of evidence would immediately be handed to the police. He looked at me like I was a stranger, but the truth was that I had finally become the woman I should have been years earlier. The woman who refused to confuse love with endless sacrifice. 2 years have passed since that night. My granddaughter still visits often, and together we bake the same apple pie my late husband once loved. The farm remains peaceful, the garden continues to bloom, and life has slowly healed around the scars. I never sought revenge. I only refused to become another victim. That strange little cup still rests inside my safe as a reminder that kindness should never come at the cost of self-respect. Sometimes the greatest act of love is finding the strength to walk away, protect yourself, and finally write the ending to your own story, instead of allowing someone else to write it for you.